So, hello everyone, welcome to day 37 of Learning Data Science. And yes, where we are now, we are in the current phase of learning object-oriented programming. And yesterday we have completed about objects and classes. And today, what we are going to do, we are just moving ahead with the encapsulation, polymorphism, data abstraction, and basically all these things, right? So, what we'll be doing, like let me share my screen once. I will open my spider. Yes, and again, when it will be done, I will be just explaining about the things. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So basically, we have discussed about the theory part of uh, yeah. So we have discussed about the theory part. What is a class, object, encapsulation, data abstraction. Basically, all these things we have discussed in the theory part, which is on day 35, right? And yesterday we discussed about how we can define a class, and again what is self here, what is name here, and what is breed here, right? You guys have means like in my function module I have already discussed about the parameters, what are the arguments, whether it is a positional argument or whether it is a named argument. Okay, so I have already discussed about all these things. If you have any confusions, what you can do, you can just go onto my videos named as functions in Python, and there will be you will be understanding it in a much better way. I think that video is around 27th or 28th day. Okay, and again here, why cell? Cell because it's a universally used. This term is there. Again, I can use anything. I can use my name. I can use ABC. But again, someone who is accessing this code would not be able to identify for what purpose I have written here ABC or my name. If I will be writing here self, so he will be understood ki, okay, self basically is a pointer. It's a pointer to denote our objects, the instance of our class, right? So basically our class was a dog. For example, dog is a species, right? And within dog, there are several names are there, several breeds are there. So again, those names and breeds, what are those? Those are the uh, features of details of that particular dog, right? So, for example, if you're a human also, so in humans, like many genders are there, right? Now, man is there, woman is there. Similarly, there are various types of means like gender in humans. So, human is a species, and what will be the object? Object will be the genders, right? So, for example, if you are taking a human body part, right? So, human body part will be something around, you can say it's a class. And again, the objects will be hand, eyes, nose, ears. So, basically, these comes under human body, right? So, these collectively define a complete human body, right? So, for example, if we are considering humans as well, so we can't consider only males as a humans, or we can't consider only females as humans, right? Collectively, both of them forms a community of species called human, right? So similarly for dog itself, there are several species. For example, golden retriever is there, German shepherd is there, right? Pit bull is there, Rottweiler is there. Okay. So these all are species combined together to form a particular community called dog, right? So here, I think you have understood it much clear way. What is object and what is class, right? So basically, the four pillars of object-oriented programming are encapsulation, data abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, right? So we have discussed about here what do you mean by encapsulation, the act of hiding the details. Okay. So for example, you all have a bank account, right? So you can only see the your account status, means like what's the balance of your account, right? You can't go and just change your balance from just say from 10 rupees to 100 rupees, right? You can't just go and change it. Only thing what you can do, you can view is right. So encapsulation is act of hiding the details. So the details, how to edit your bank, how to edit your bank balance is being done by some bank authorities, right? It's not being done by you. You can only see your balance, right? So there encapsulation comes into play. Encapsulation means act of hiding the details. The details will be hidden. Okay, right. So now we will be discussing about how to code means like what is the basic syntax for that, right? So what I will do, I will just use a class here, class name as bank account. Okay. And again, I will define a constructor here. Why I'm copy pasting the same thing? Because right now my keyboard is not being working properly. The particularly the two keys, which is zero and hyphen dash. Okay, so for that reason, I am pasting it. And again, what do you mean by constructor? So constructor is assigning the default values to our program, right? So here you can see definite. I have installed a constructor successfully. And how you can install it? Again, you can use you have to use a double slash here C1 2 two dashes are there for such, and by these things you can install a constructor. So again, I will write here self again is a pointer which will point the objects of our class bank account, and you can write whatever variable name as per your choice. You can write your name as well. So I will be writing here self, and I will be also writing here, for example, bank balance. Okay, for example, balance I will write here. Okay, so I have written here balance, and what I will do, I will do self dot balance is equal to balance. Okay, so what I am doing, basically this self dot balance means I am pointing my cursor, I am pointing uh, my object balance, and my object balance is what? It will be same as the balance, the parameters, the arguments which we have passed, the balance argument which we have passed, right? So now the next thing what I will do, for example, I am depositing some amount. Okay, so I will write here deposit function. Okay, and here what I will do, again I will pass a parameter self, and for example some amount I am depositing inside a bank. Okay, so what will happen? My balance will be reflected, right? So self dot balance is equal to amount. Okay, and what's the meaning of plus equal to? Plus equal to means self dot balance is equal to self dot balance plus amount. I think you have understood this in my operators module. You can go and look into it. I have successfully explained what basically means by this particular relational operator. Uh, okay. So when I will go again at the down, I will create one another function here named as get balance. Now my new balance I want to check. Okay, new balance I will check, and here I will pass only one parameter called self, and I will return this value, return self dot balance. Okay, and here what I will do, I will just store one variable here, and I will store bank account. Bank account, I will pass one value months. For example, my balance currently is 34,999. Okay, and I will call my function. Which function I want to call? I want to call first I will call deposit. deposit. Again, n dot deposit, how many money I want to deposit. For example, I want to deposit rupees 1588. Okay. And then what I will do, I will call my another function, which is get balance. Okay. And when I will execute this line of code, you can see here my balance got changed from 365872 from 3499 to 36587. It's adding those, right? So you can see here how I have created encapsulation, means like the example of encapsulation, how we can identify those, and again, how you can call a function, how you can call a class, means like you can separately call each function, and this is means like whether you can write here and or whether you can write here object, you can create one object here, and you can similarly write here obj dot deposit and obj dot get balance. Okay, so similarly you are calling each function, you are creating an instance, you are creating an object of each class. Here the object you are calling is amount from deposit function. Here the object which you are calling is the balance. Okay, the get balance function you are calling it, and you are storing each function in a balance, means like each function in an object form. And for example, for that reason I have created one object here. Okay, and if I will not write here obj, then what will happen, I have to continuously write bank account dot deposit, bank account dot get balance. I have to write these things. Okay. And to avoid this particular thing, to avoid being repetitive in my command or in my program, I have stored one simple variable name as obj. Okay. Now I will just move on to our next, which is data abstraction. Okay. Again, what is a data abstraction? Data abstraction is act of hiding the necessary details. Okay, only essential features are viewed. For example, if you are driving a car, so you are not bothered that how the engine is working. You are only bothered that okay, the car is moving properly or not, right? And how this data abstraction is being achieved? It is achieved through it is. I'm damn sure that you guys are making running notes, because I don't want to just uh, you guys to just sit on a sofa and just watch this video, because what will happen, you will feel drowsiness and you will feel sleepy, and for that reason you will not understand anything. So making running notes not only just makes you attentive but also makes you learn the things faster. Okay, so how data abstraction is achieved? It is achieved through abstract class using abc module. ABC module is in Python, and using ABC module, we are going to achieve data abstraction and we are going to perform data abstraction. Okay, sorry. So what I will do, from ABC, my ABC module, I am importing ABC abstract method, right? from ABC module, I am importing ABC abstract method. Okay. And what I will write, for example, I am defining a class called shape. Okay. And in shape, I will just import my parameter ABC. And here what I will do, I will just create a getter function here, uh, which is abstract method. Again, what is a getter and setter? I will just explain into my next video. It's like, what do you mean by getter and what do you mean by setter? And they basically getter and setter to define in a single term. It's like it helps us to beautify our code, and also it helps us to just locate our functions much easier way. Okay. And I will define my function def area, and I will just use a self here. Okay. Self, again, it's a pointer which used to point my objects within a class. And again, right now I don't want to do any operations behind this, so I am using a pass here. And what I will do, I will create another function called as, sorry, I will use another class here. And in this class, I will write here circle, and I will write here shape. Okay. And again, I will just write here my constructor. Okay. Again, for what reason is the constructor? For assigning the default values. Okay. And I will write here self. Self is my pointer, and what all parameter I have to pass it? I have to pass my radius. Okay. And what I will do, I will just write self dot radius is equal to radius. And within this, I am defining one more method, area. And within this, what I will be doing, I will be calculating the area of my circle, and I will be return 3.14 into self dot radius square times. I hope you guys know about the formula for calculating the radius of the circle. And again, what I will do, I will create one object of my class. For example, I am creating object is equal to circle, and inside the circle, I'm passing my radius as 4. And here what I will do, I will just call my area function. Okay. And as soon as I will execute this line of code, you can see the area of my circle will be getting printed. It is 50.24. Okay. So basically what we are doing here, we are defining we are defining a class here shape, and within shape, what we are doing, a certain abstract method is there, area is there. We are hiding the necessary details about the shape. Okay. And we are only concerned about the area of the circle. We are not concerned about the what is the shape, what is basically it is a circle, whether it is a square, whether it's a rectangle, and these all things, right? So I hope you guys have understood the syntax for this. If you haven't understood, you can just rewind my video. You can just watch as many number of times because it's been getting recorded, and certainly you will understand it, right? Now we will move on to our next part. Next part is inheritance. Again, what do you mean by inheritance? It inherits the properties of a parent class to the child class, right? And by the term itself, you guys have understood what is mean by inheritance. So what I will do, I will just inherit a class name as animal. Okay, class name as animal, and yeah, and here I will write here speak. I am creating a function name as speak, and I will write cell print animal speaks. Okay, and I will create one another class name as dog, and basically this is a child class, and I am calling my parent class into it, and here I will just call my function also with def speak, and I will put here cell, and I will write print dog barks. Now what I will do, I will call my class. I will call, I will store, create an object here, and I will store my class dog here, and I will just call my function known as speak. Okay, and when I will execute this line of code, you can see here, it's getting printed dog barks, and basically what I am doing here, this basically is a class an animal, and this is a class dog, right? And basically in the animal category itself, the dog comes, and whether it's a dog, whether it's a tiger, whether it's a lion, several animal species are there. So animal is a parent class, and similarly dog, lions, cats will be a child class, right? So this is the basic example of inheritance. And yes, there are many types of inheritance like single inheritance, multiple inheritance, several types are there, right? So we will be discussing there one by one itself. But right now, this is the basic code for that. And I know you guys have understood it. If you haven't understood the code, then you can watch, rewind it, and you can watch the n number of times, because this is so simple. Means like it will not take much of your time to understand the basic syntax, the basic code for that. What's the function doing? What's the variable self is being here? What do you mean by dev.speak? What is here class dog, and why I'm calling here animal class? Okay. So basically this is the child class. From child class, it is inheriting the properties of the parent class, right? Because animals speaks, and similarly what dogs does, dog barks. And if it would be a lion, the lion would roar. Okay. So now the fourth point, the fourth point is polymorphism, right? Again, what is a polymorphism? Polymorphism means like same interface, different behavior. Same interface, different behavior means like you guys have your different names, right? For example, your household name is something different, your office name is something different, and your friends, your best friend calls you with different names. And similarly with all those different names, what happens, your job roles and your personality differs from person to person, right? For example, you don't behave the same way like you behave with your friends in the office. You don't behave the same way as you behave in office with your friends in the home, right? In front of your parents or in front of your siblings, right? The your behavior is different, but the person is same. You are the same person, but your behavior changes person from person to person, right? So you are generally displaying your different traits, but at the end the person himself is the same. So let's take an example of another example. For example, printer is there. So printer, what it will do? A printer will do, it will print the things also, and what it will do? It will just scan the objects as well, right? It will scan the documents as well. It will print in black and white. It will print in colored printer also. It's like it will print in colored format as well, right? So basically printer is the same, but its behavior is different. Similarly, you guys are also same, but your behavior is different when you are in front of your best friends, your friends, in front of your colleagues, parents, siblings, or teachers, right? So I hope you have understood the theory part of it, what is basically behind the polymorphism. Okay, so I will do, just understand the syntax as well. So here what I will do, I will just create one class here, cat, and what cat will do, cat will speak. Okay, self print meow. How cat speaks? Cat meow, right? And I will create one another class as dog. Okay, and ref dot speak self print who, right? And I will define one another function here. And here what I will write? I will write here animal sound, and within that I will use animal. Okay, and I will write here animal dot speak. I will call my function animal dot speak, and I will call my function animal sound. First, I will call my function dog, and then I will call my function cat. So if I will execute this line of code, so you can see here woof and meow got printed. So what conclusion you can draw from here? See, you can see a def speak self. Basically, the function name was same. The function speak is same, but it changes according to the different animal behaviors. Right? For example, dog will not say meow and cat will not say who. Right? So similarly, it will have polymorphism. What it will do, it will have the same function name, but the parameters will be the different parameters will be there, but the function name will be the same. For example, you will be the same, but your identity pertaining to your different relations, whether it's about your colleagues, friends, best friends, parents, siblings, it changes, right? So you are the same function, you are the same guy. Similarly, your speak is the same function, but it changes according to the different animals, right? So I hope you have understood the polymorphism, right? And today we are stopping this, and tomorrow what we'll be doing? We will be discussing in details, combining all these things, combining the four pillars, which is encapsulation, data abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and also we will discuss about function overloading, constructor. Constructor, basically you have seen what is constructor. So these all things we will discuss everything combined. Right now we have discussed everything step by step, one by each, And tomorrow we will combine all these nine parameters of these nine fundamentals of object oriented programming, and we will be discussing in detail tomorrow. Okay. So till then, what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to practice at least thousand lines of code every day, because I want you guys to just sprint in your knowledge. I don't want you guys to just walk slowly. Okay, so just keep practicing at least 500 to 1000 lines of code every day, and see you tomorrow at the same time. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Join.